Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. It's week 11 in college football. Today is Wednesday, November 8th. We are talking with Steve from collegefootballwinning.com right now. We're going to take a look at the Texas Tech Baylor game. A very interesting game here, of course. It's been a down year for Baylor as expected. They are coming off of their first win. They're just playing out the string, though. And Texas Tech, a bunch of losses in a row. They tend to swoon at this time of year under Coach Kingsbury, and he might be on the hot seat. He might be out, even if Texas Tech beats Baylor here. But definitely, if they lose, I'm thinking that he's going to be gone. That might seal his fate here. Texas Tech pretty clearly has a talent edge here over Baylor. Baylor playing a lot of young guys. Total the line is 7.5 in favor of Texas Tech, and I guess at first glance, I'd want to take Texas Tech here, but I'm not sure that that they're worth a play here, considering the November swoon that they're in right now, which we have seen in previous years. Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. What's your take on this line?
Well, thanks, Peter. I just want to start this video talking about a college football metric that I seemingly discuss in every video, so I'll talk about it to begin with: turnover margin. As a statistical category, I'm like a broken record here. Every week, Peter, I say the same thing. Turnovers are the most impactful, yet most unpredictable or random of the critically significant college football metrics. So, as I keep saying, sooner or later, there's a regression to the mean in this somewhat random category. Teams, and therefore bettors, cannot count on teams getting points off of turnovers. And Texas Tech has been, when they're successful, living off of a positive turnover margin. So just consider this, Peter. Texas Tech's turnover margin in their 4 ATS wins this season is +9, okay? Their turnover margin in their 4 ATS losses is -2. Nothing could be more stark than that. Baylor, their turnover margin in their 4 ATS wins so far this season, +1. Their turnover margin in their 4 ATS losses, -7. Again, stark contrast. So it seems to be such a critical factor here in their against the spread wins and losses. So in addition to the idea of turnovers regressing to the mean sooner or later, we have reason to believe the turnover tilt has gotten better for Baylor very recently. Baylor, for just his second time this game, will be starting true freshman quarterback Charlie Brewer. Brewer got his first start in college last week, the true freshman, versus Kansas at Kansas, and the closing point spread in that game, Peter, was Baylor -7. Baylor won 38-9, crushing both Kansas and the point spread. Brewer threw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and most importantly, no interception. Now, I know you could just say, well, it's Kansas, so I'm not sure how much stock I want to put in that, but keep in mind, Brewer is replacing sophomore quarterback Zach Smith, who threw interceptions in 5 different games this year, while only throwing touchdown passes in 3 different games. Not good. So he's replaced now. Now, if you think the sample size for Brewer's work in college is too small for us to come to any conclusions about turnover margin or anything for that matter, let's keep in mind what he's done so far. Limited action, and with just 1 start, 67.1% completion rate, with 5 touchdown passes and 1 interception. If you think that sample size is too small, then let's look what Brewer did last year in Texas 6A high school football. Okay, en route to winning the 2016 Texas AP Player of the Year at Lake Travis High School, Brewer threw 54 touchdown passes and just 3 interceptions, Peter. And one of those interceptions was an end of the half Hail Mary, so I don't think that should be counted against him. So 54 touchdown passes and really 2 legitimate interceptions. That's tremendously efficient, to say the least. His completion percentage was something like over 77%. It was crazy. So what is more, he's more mobile than Zach Smith, the quarterback he's replacing. So on the whole, I like Baylor's opportunity in this game to minimize their turnovers compared to much of what we have seen from Baylor in previous games this season, largely because of Charlie Brewer getting his second start at quarterback here. Some quick betting data indicators. Texas Tech, as you said, you talked about their slide, they're 0-4 against the spread their last 4 games. That's indicative of them not meeting public expectations last 4 games. This game almost universally opened at Texas Tech -7.5. And for what it's worth, some people might say, oh, they might try to read into this and say, well, when books are opening this universally at -7.5, they're trying to let you know that the touchdown and the hook, oh, you just want me to take Baylor, don't you? Because I get a little more than a touchdown. So the smart play would be on Texas Tech, right? Well, judging from the last 10 years when books have, by consensus, opened games at -7.5, those 7.5-point favorites, again, last 10 years in college football, the favorites have beaten that spread just 46.75% of the time. So underdogs like Baylor at this opening number have beaten the spread 53.25% of the time. Now, I know that's obviously not a big edge, but anything better than 52.38% in our bet 11 to win 10 world is profitable. So it's not a huge edge, but it is a slight edge. Currently, Baylor in this game is getting less than 30% of the public betting. Now, looking back at the last 10 times these guys have met in this series, the team that got less than 30% of the public betting is 3-0 against the spread in this series. So my conclusion, Peter, I like Baylor getting at least 7.5. There are some 8s available right now as we're speaking, but I will wait, and I recommend others do so too. I'll wait to bet this game until game day, so we might be able to get a better number later. As I said, they're getting less than 30% of the public betting, so we could get a more favorable number. So that's good. That's a good enough reason to continue to check places like SBRodds.com to shop around for the best number.
Okay, we'll be looking at Baylor plus 7.5. Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. For anyone watching these videos we do with you for the first time, tell us about your website, collegefootballwinning.com.
Thank you, Peter. At collegefootballwinning.com, all the company does is college football betting analysis all year round. We're a company founded on making betting recommendations using sets of algorithms, and we call our algorithmic betting recommendations our formula. The lifetime of the formula, as of last night, we're taping this on a Wednesday, and as of last night, we gave out our 600th formula betting recommendation. It's now 60.58% against the spread through just 3 weeks so far this season of giving out formula betting recommendations. You know, but maybe not everyone knows that it takes a certain amount of current season data before we can give out formula betting recommendations. So just 3 weeks, we're in our 4th week of giving out betting recommendations. We were 19-8 against the spread in those formula betting recommendations through the first 3 weeks. The beginning of our 4th week now, just last night, we won Miami of Ohio at -9. So we got our 20th victory for the season. So we're 20-8 right now, which is 71.43% against the spread for formula betting recommendations this year. That's all great news. The bad news is we are currently closed to new clients, but people can go to collegefootballwinning.com. We have other resources there, college football resources, and of course live odds there too, coming from SBRodds.com. And people can come to collegefootballwinning.com and join our waiting list, and we hope they do.
All right, sounds good. Thanks so much, Steve.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.